Hey guys, welcome back to the Social Ave podcast. I'm your host, Sydney Encinas, and it's been a long time since we've done the podcast. A lot has happened, and I'm really excited to dive into a specific topic today, which is I got my breast implants removed. And I feel like I want to talk about it, but I want to talk about it, but I feel like I don't have that large of a following where I can go onto my Instagram and be like, okay, what questions do you guys have for me? So I had this idea yesterday where I thought maybe I could ask ChatGPT, and before you people out there who hate ChatGPT get all judgy on me, I'm using Chat as a thought collaborator. I'm not using it to be my brain, just as a little preface, okay? So I thought, why don't I use ChatGPT to, ask some frequently asked questions about people who have gotten explant surgery, and then just kind of see what it comes up with. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do 10 questions that ChatGPT comes up with for me about my breast explant surgery. So if you are thinking about getting your breasts taken out, or maybe you have them and you're like, I don't really care about that. That doesn't interest me. Don't watch. When I had my breast implants in, I remember seeing just people post things about how they were bad for you and whatever, breast implant illness, which I didn't have, by the way. I can kind of go into the story, but I sort of want to really dive into the questions because that is something that when I did want to get them out, I was searching up and I wasn't really finding a lot of breast explant stories. And so this was a video that I would have wanted. So this isn't really like a requested thing. It's just something that I would have wanted, a couple months ago. So hopefully that this can help somebody. Back to what I was saying about breast implant illness. I didn't have it. It was just something that I felt like God was laying on my heart to do for a while. And I finally acted on it. And my life has been so much better just within the month that I've had them out. There's so many things that have improved about my health, my life, and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's ask ChatGPT whatever question I'm trying to say. What do I even say? Let's see. No. Give me the top 10 questions somebody would ask a person who has already been through explant surgery, not a surgeon, but somebody who has just experienced the procedure in general. The top 10 questions that they would ask that person. Is that confusing? Okay. Top 10 questions someone would ask a woman who has had breast explant surgery. Number 1, what made you decide to remove your implants? Good question, viewers. Just kidding. What made me decide to remove them was for years, I feel like God has been kind of laying it on my heart to do it. Okay, so, but I just kept, I don't know. Obviously that's not something he would want me to keep in my body. You know what I mean? I just kind of put it off. The second time that I got them done. So the first time I had got them done, I was 7 months postpartum. Okay. I had just had Parker. So many hormones and emotions were just pulsing through my body. And I think everybody around me was so worried about me feeling good about myself that nobody really stopped me to be like, hey, you're beautiful just the way you are. You also have a lot of hormones and emotions, kind of you just had a baby 7 months ago. So why don't we take a beat and just relax and come back to it? I mean, I feel like when I say that, people are always like, you're so hard on yourself, and it's what you wanted at the time. And that is true, that all of that is true. But I think that if you're on the fence about whether or not to get them, I would take a beat and try to figure out, like, what's the root? Is there a weed? Is there something we need to address that is deeper than this feeling in this exact moment? Because maybe it could be, maybe the reason why you feel like you need breast implants can be addressed with therapy or whatever. That was certainly the case for me. And I know that this isn't the case for everybody. So this is about my story. This isn't like, yeah, but my boobs are this, and so I need that. That's up to you and God. That has nothing to do with me. I just, this is my situation. So what was even the question? The question was, what made you decide to remove your implants? What made me decide, and what I was like, okay, this definitely has to be from God, is because God laid the Iron Man on my heart, and all of a sudden I was training and I got like this insane sharp pain above my left boob. The day before had done a 5-hour ride and then hopped off. It was a brick workout. So it was a 5-hour ride. And then I hopped off and did a 2-hour run. And I was at Chipotle the next day eating with my daughter. And I just got this like pain. And I was like, oh my God, what the heck is that? Talked to my surgeon. He was like, no amount of exercise is gonna rupture your implant. And so he put me at ease about it and was like, it's fine. People with breast implants do extreme things like this all the time, whatever. Well, something just didn't feel right to me. And at that point, it's kind of like you need to listen to your body. So I listened to my body and I just stopped, and I was so sad about it. But that right there, that kind of like realization that like endurance sports is like a really huge hobby of mine. It's something that like I don't want to ever stop doing. And so the implants just didn't, it's not, they're not helping me. Do you know what I mean? Like in any way, if anything, they're killing me. And I felt like you're worth more, obviously, alive than you are dead. You have kids. It's not about what I look like anymore. It's the way that I perform, and in every area of my life. So this is taking them out, in my opinion, did only make everything better. And there was a lot of fear around it. I was very scared. I was like, what if I think this is from God and I take them out and this ruins my life? What if I am going to be so ugly? What if I'm going to hate myself? Like what? There's so many what ifs, It's like the devil was just wreaking havoc on my brain. It was like taking like the what ifs and magnifying them. But pretty soon I was just like, yeah, I'm beautiful. Like I'm beautiful just the way I am. And God created my body beautiful, just the way it was meant to be. And I really just like held on to those truths and was like, I got to see this through. And also because like God laid it on my heart a long time ago, and I'm only just now being obedient in it. And like, I need to be obedient quick and in a hurry and now, because I don't want to see what is going to happen if I don't, you know what I mean? So that's why. I may have left some things out, but that's basically why. Was the surgery and recovery as bad as you expected? The recovery was so fast. I was like, the next day was my birthday. So I got him out June 9th, and then June 10th, the next day is my birthday. I woke up and I was like, I just took the biggest deep breath. I felt so good. It was way better. The recovery was so quick. I did still take about a week off of work. He said I could go back in 3 days, but everything he said, I just doubled it because I wanted to be extra, double, triple, 100% sure that everything is firing on all cylinders. It's actually it's very much in my nature to go full speed ahead with things that I want to do something I don't really like think, I just do. And that's great in a lot of situations, but like when it comes to your health, I've realized take it slow, tiptoe into it. You're going to the gym, tiptoe into the weights. Don't go balls to the wall. You're gonna do a running endeavor, tiptoe, you know? So that's what I was doing with my recovery. I'm like, there is no rush. I need to slowly get into this. And especially because I do plan on doing an Ironman, not a full though. I want to do a half. I saw what the full did to my life. I stopped my podcast. I really kind of stopped hanging out with my friends. I love you friends so much. You guys know who you are. I'm so sorry about all that. I just I didn't have the bandwidth. I didn't have I was so just juggling work, family, and training. And that was all I had time for. It is such a selfish endeavor. So when I have the time to be selfish with that, I will, but maybe not actually, because the half Ironmans, I feel like I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking about my knees. I'm thinking about everything. I'm thinking I could probably do and experience more events if I did the halves, like my body can, rather than like a few fulls, because a few fulls on your body is just like, even one just takes a lot out of you. But I'll just be able to do more of them over the course of my life if it's like the half distances. So yeah, no, surgery was not as bad as I expected. Way better than I expected. I also did not get a lift. I only got Explant. That's probably another, that actually has been another thing that people have asked me. He just, and then and popped them out and then sewed me back up. And then I was like, bink, bink, open my eyes. And no, that was that. So there was no lift. There was nothing after that, which is probably why it was such a speedy recovery. Number 3, what do your breasts look like now? And are you happy with the results? I'm very happy with the results, surprisingly, because my whole life I was led to believe that like if I didn't have big boobs, I wasn't sexy, I wasn't attractive, and oh my gosh. Hold on. Okay, we gotta hurry because I gotta take my daughter to practice. Okay. What do your breasts look like now, and are you happy with the results? Were they what you expected? Did they change over the weeks and months? Okay, so it's been 1 month. When they first came out, I was like, oh my God, shit. But still though, even like when they first came out, I felt this like immense amount of relief. They were smaller, but I wanted small boobs. I craved small boobs. Like after having huge boobs for such a long time, I was so over it. I was like, get these off of me. So the amount of gratitude I had for getting that weight off of me and just feeling healthy overall, kind of lifted me up in that way to make the sight of them at first kind of like it softened the blow. They do not today. I'm exactly, not exactly, what is today? So I got them out the 9th of June. Today is July 15th. So I'm like a month post, I was about to say postpartum, op. And they look so much better than they did when I first took them out. So when you get them out at first, it'll be like, oh my God, they are, I had like huge bazoombas. Okay. When I got them in through high school, I was like a 34B, okay? And which I'm back there now. I am at a 34B again. But I went from that to a 34 double D, okay? I had like my CCs were like closer to 600 than 500. And I can't remember the exact CCs, which is insane. I mean, they were huge. I actually asked for my bags and they wouldn't give me my bags, which sucked because I wanted to on camera be like, look at these things. So now the best way that I can describe what they look like now is I feel like I belong on Emily in Paris. Like they're very like, I don't know if you're watching this. This is like the best way I can describe it. Like they go like that, like a little, in shirts though, they look good. And like in sports bras, they are up. They look like perky enough. My husband loves them. I love them. So there's like no everything's good. Everything's firing on all cylinders in that area of my life, which I think that was like that's also like some childhood trauma that, spilled over into my adulthood. That was another thing I was really scared of. I'm like, what if on the other side of this surgery, that unhealed, insecure, like 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old me is on the other side of that. And luckily I met her with open arms and just gave her a big hug and was like, we're beautiful. Like these little boobies look so good on us. Okay. We are so beautiful. And I'll cry, but they look very French. They look very oui. Like I should be in Paris. That's how I feel. I feel very like Paris with my small little boobies. They did at first kind of like go in a little bit, like because the breast implant was so huge, like it on each side of my boob, they kind of like protruded out into like my armpits a little bit. They were so big. So they concaved a little bit in that area. They are filling in now. It's been a month, and my doctor said that will go away. He was like, it'll like fill in a little bit, but your body just needs time to recoil. I have really good skin elasticity, so because my stomach kind of recoiled really well after my 2 pregnancies, he was like, your skin's probably going to do just the same on your boobs. And he felt very confident about it, which is why we went with just explanting instead of doing the lift. He was like, I really want to see what your body can do. So I'm very happy that I went that route, because and just for reference, I went so big. I had them redone twice. 10 or 12 years after the first time I did it. The first time I got him in, I was 21, and I got him out when I was 35, like at the stroke of 35. Okay. Right. Cause I did it the day before my birthday. So, I mean, you do the math. That was that many years of them being so stretched out. But I was like, I'm like a lotion girl. So I was like lotioning my boobies all the time. I lotion my stomach all the time. Like, I love to be greased up. I love lotion. So if you have breast implants right now and you think maybe you might want to get them out in the future or whatever, or you just freshly got breast implants or whatever, treat your boobies the same way that you would treat your stomach if you were pregnant. And actually, even if you're not pregnant. And also I live in the desert. So like just lotion. Like it's so important. Okay. What is the next question? Okay. Do you regret getting the explant, or would you do it again? Easy. I would do it again. I would do it again. It is so, yes, do it again. Okay, next question. Did you notice any changes in your health after the explant? Yes. I felt like I could breathe better. I feel like I was struggling with my breathing, like mostly in my gut area, like in my stomach area. Like I just couldn't take a full deep breath. And so that was like the biggest thing I noticed. The difference with my anxiety went down, my breathing normalized. And I've always been pretty healthy, pretty active. So I'm very in tune with like my body, big time. What's another thing I noticed? Inflammation. I think my implants each were like maybe a pound each or 2 pounds. I don't even know how much, like 500, almost 600 cc's would weigh. You could probably look that up. But I've lost almost, and it's only been a month, and I've lost close to 10 pounds, which is, that's insane. I always felt so inflamed, and so that was one of the biggest things, is like the inflammation went down. I feel lighter. I look lighter. I can see it in my face. Like, it's all good things. All good things. Let's see. What was the biggest surprise about the entire experience? What was the biggest surprise? Probably how quickly I recovered. That was the biggest surprise. That was like everybody's biggest surprise. I feel like they're like, whoa, you're already up on your feet. You're already, and yeah, I mean, my doctor said that would happen, but sometimes doctors are a little bit like, you'll be fine, you know, and you just can't, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, okay, yeah, we'll see, you know. But that was the biggest surprise, is like, oh wow, I do feel better, and I felt better really quickly. How did the explant affect your confidence in your body image? I have never felt sexier. I've never felt more alive and confident. I love getting dressed. It even affected my daughter's body image. I feel like she feels more confident in herself. That was kind of a really sad thing. When I took him out, her and I were talking, she was like giving me my flowers, just sort of telling me how proud of me that she was. And she just kind of expressed that it made her feel like she could love her body, which was just like, you don't realize the effects that, especially when you're a mom, the effects that your choices, and actually, yeah, I did in every other area of my life. I'm very like, okay, if the kids watch me be healthy, they're gonna be healthy. If they watch me be active, I'm very much like, you want to talk the talk, you need to walk the walk. If you tell your kids, you got to get out there and you got to hustle, and especially like in sports and stuff. If you're going to tell your kids they need to be doing this and they need to be on top of that and they need to be grinding and hustling through practice, and if you're going to demand that amount of like energy from your kids, they better be watching it from you. Okay. My kids watch me healthy. They watch me work out. They watch me grind at work. So when I say you need to da-da-da-da-da, I can back it up because my own actions show that, like, I know what, you know what I mean? I'm not just like telling them they should do it and I'm not acting on it as well. Because kids grow up and they'll realize you're a fraud. Why are you telling me all this stuff? You're telling me to be brave, but then you can't be brave, or you can't, you're telling me to eat good and then look at you, you're eating like crap. Or you're telling me to work out and like, do you even work out, or you're encouraging me to do all these sports, but like, do you move your body, So that's really important to me. But I made my boobs the exception and they weren't, So she was watching me. I got them when I was 7 months postpartum with her. So she only knew my naked body was what a woman's body should look like to Parker. And that's sad because it's not true and it's fake. And that's not reality. And so when I gave her a false reality of like what a woman's chest should look like. And that was really sad. And so taking it out, and her watching me be confident in that decision and love my body just the way it was really good for her to witness. And it was really good for me to realize that the choice I made had that big of an effect on my daughter. So it was great. And everything's great now. Okay. What do you wish you had known before having surgery? I wish I wouldn't have bought a bra so fast. I wish I would have lived in sports bras a little bit longer, because I bought this bra from Victoria's Secret that I just hate now. They just need time. Don't rush. I jumped the gun in like trying to like find these bras that were going to like make me feel better and make me feel good through the transition, because what they look like initially is not what they look like now, and it's only been 4 weeks. So I wish that I wouldn't have jumped in so quickly into getting bras. Shirts and stuff, jump in, because you already know, you have a pretty good idea. And that's what's so fun about having small boobs. I can wear so many things. Oh my gosh. I just feel like my style is coming back. I feel alive. I feel like me again. I feel like my personality is coming back. I feel like I'm home again. If that makes any sense. I just feel like my creativity is back. I feel strong and excited, and like just excited to get dressed. And like, I don't want to like live in workout clothes. I feel like I was living in workout clothes for a while, because it was so like, it was hard to dress these like big bazoombas, like, because it was either like I was trying to press them down with sports bras, or when I wore something normal, I looked like I was like just walking around like with these huge knockers. And I feel better. I just feel more myself. I feel like maybe if I was born with big knockers, then that would be me, but that's not me. That's not the way I was created. That's not who God made me to be. God made me this way. And now I can live fully in my purpose. I can do what I'm meant to do, because they were getting in the way of so many things that God was laying on my heart to do. Okay. Last question, I think. Oh, no. Not the last question. Number 9. What products, tips, or habits helped you recover the most? Probably nutrition. I would just say good nutrition. Weeks leading up to it, I was very clean. And throughout the first couple weeks of recovery, I was just, I'm pretty on top of my nutrition anyways, but I was very on top of nutrition. Like, I was looking up like what help, what did I look up? I looked up, foods that support muscle recovery after surgery, things like that. And I compiled the food list, and I tried to stick to that food list just as much as I could. And I tried to make it easy for myself. So like smoothies, but definitely like high protein stuff. I've really been into like putting egg whites into my shakes. That's a game changer. And just being gentle with myself. Trying not to like rush anything. Praying, getting into my Bible and getting close to God. And just like, especially when you do something like that, you've really got to like make sure that you're just like truth. I'm reading the truth. Like, what is true? Because lies will creep into your brain fast. And so I wanted to really make sure that I was flooding my mind and my body with good food and good truth. I was feeding my mind good things and feeding my body good things. And then just making sure that I was speaking with and surrounding myself with people who were uplifting. When you do something like this, getting around people who are gonna like be like negative or say something weird, I don't know, like, just get away from those, like, shut up, like, get away from those people, especially in such a big transition, a big pivot. It's like, it's a weird thing that your mind and your body are going through. And so in order to support your body and your brain, good food, a Bible, and good people. That's what I say. Those are my tips for recovery. Last one. If someone is thinking about having an explant but is scared, what would you tell them? If you're scared, I tell you that I give you a hug. I give you a virtual hug right now. And if you have access to me, please ask for a hug because I want to give it to you. And if you're watching this, I'm hugging you so tight right now. And if you were right here, I would be hugging you and I would be telling you, you are designed so, you have such a specific mission here on earth. Nobody can be you as good as you can be you. And you are beautiful. That's so cliche to say. Everybody's always like, oh, you're beautiful just the way you are. But you really are beautiful just the way you are. Think about if your kid were to give you a picture and say, Mom, look at this that I made. You wouldn't be like, can I just add something? Like, this would be so much better if you just let me add, boom, some boobs. Can I just draw some boobs on that little stick figure you gave me? No, I'm kidding. You wouldn't mess with it. It's like, that's a gift from your kid. Like, you are a gift. You are a gift to the world. Whatever is telling you that you are not good enough or not, thank you for showing me who you are. I got to cut that branch off. Get it off so good fruit can grow. Don't be scared. Do it. You are going to feel so much better, so much lighter. And it's important. I always tell people, I love this analogy. This is my favorite analogy. Okay. Think of the world. Think of life as like a picture. Okay. Here's a picture. You're born with a crayon. You know, when babies come out and they have fists, they can't open, they just have a big fist. In your fist, when you're born, is a crayon and it's your color and nobody else has that color. That's your color. And I have a color and she has a color and he has a color and we're all born with these crayons. Okay, so now back to the picture. Here's life. God specifically assigned you for a spot on that picture to color. If you are too worried about envying somebody else's crayon or trying to micromanage the way somebody else is coloring their then you'll never just embrace your color, embrace your crayon, and color your spot that God gave you the way you're supposed to do that. So embrace your color, embrace your crayon. It's yours. It's beautiful. And if you don't do your part on the picture, then somebody else won't be able to do their part on theirs. Your part is vital. You don't want God to sit back and look at the picture and be like, okay, everybody did, except why didn't you? But what happened here? I gave you such a beautiful, why didn't you color that part I told you? You're so worried about Jessica's crayon and having her color that you didn't color the spot and that was vital. That part mattered because that part was meant to inspire this over here and that, So love yourself the way you are. If you're thinking about getting boobs, you're on the fence about getting boobs, I'm going to say don't do it. If you're on the fence about getting an explant, I'm going to say get the explant and love yourself. That's my advice to you. I hope this video helped somebody. Love you guys. And if it made somebody upset, I encourage you to look at why it made you upset. And I love you. And I'm praying for you guys. Okay, bye.